So I just picked up this 2013 Razor 900 XP Walker Evans edition, and while doing my walkthrough, just checking everything out, gonna change the fluids, making sure everything's working okay. I noticed that I had a sway bar problem, so this is what this video is going to be about, showing you what to do about a broken sway bar on the Razor. So this is a notorious problem that Polaris has had since the first Razor hit the street there. These things are just, like I said, notorious for breaking. Whether it's an 800 to 900, I'm guessing 1,000. Maybe it still got the problem, but here's basically what happens. I tacked this together, so this weld wasn't there, but you can see it's cracked right here. I'll flip this over. This sway bar cracked all the way around, cracked all the way down here, around the side, down this side. So it's kind of like a spiral crack, is what they'll call that. And mine broke on the passenger side. So I don't know if that's common to be on one side or whatever, but that's how this one broke. So what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna go out and buy an aftermarket one. You surely don't want to buy the factory one again. You're gonna spend 300 bucks and be right back here. So you can buy an aftermarket one. A lot of these aftermarkets look exactly like this. They might be better, I'm not sure. But what I decided to do, instead of spending anywhere from $300 to $500, I got this sway bar up here. So I went to my local salvage yard and I tried to find a sway bar that would be close as I could to the factory Polaris one here. So the key is that you want the radius, from one side to the other. You want this to match as close as you can, because you really don't want to make these bends if you can get away from it. You want to mess with this bar the least amount of possible. So what I did, if you take a look at this, it is very, very close. I mean, it's almost right on. Obviously this bends a little different, but I checked it and it's going to clear my arms. It's not going to hit anything, so I'm going to be good with this. Now the other thing is, don't go out and buy yourself a sway bar with this diameter. This is way too big if it's a solid sway bar. This would be something like on a full-size pickup or a big heavy truck or some sort. If you get one this thick that's solid, this sway bar is going to do nothing. It's going to be so locked in solid that your wheels are not going to move independently. So you need something a little smaller. This particular sway bar came off a 1998 Kia little SUV. I don't know if they call it a Sportage or whatever they call it, but that's what it's off of. So if you're looking for one that's going to be really close to 900 XP, I'd go and get something like this. Again, 1998 Kia. Now this did have a couple, little bends in it, on the Kia, and that's okay because we heated this up with acetylene torch and we're able to slowly bend it and then let it cool slowly. And that'll help keep this spring steel. And again, this isn't where the stress is really anyway. It's going to be more in the bar. All right, so what we're doing is heating up that sway bar, taking the bends out of it, letting it cool slowly so it doesn't get brittle. So far, we got this one straightened out. Looks pretty good. We're going to have to cut it off, cut it back here, grind in the spot, probably heat it up and try to smash it. We'll have a little more meat to drill a hole. If that doesn't work, we'll cut the ends off of this bar and put them over the end and we're going to try this first. It also came out to about here, so it was a lot longer than I needed. Cut it off, was able to cut it with a cutoff wheel. That worked perfectly. Then I had to deal with what am I going to do for the ends. Original idea was we were going to cut these ends off and slide it over and weld them on. But I really didn't want to weld on this bar if possible, because welding on spring steel, it's not always successful. It's a little tricky. You can get away with TIG welding it, but if you can get away without doing it, that's the way to go. So what I decided to do was I took a cutoff wheel and I cut this groove in here with the angle. All right, and then I just kind of polished it up with my grinding wheel, and I was able to get it nice and tapered in here. And then it's thin enough where it took a little bit of effort with a good drill bit, we were able to drill the hole that we needed. So we did that on both sides. So now we've got a single solid sway bar, right? No welds, nothing to worry about, should be good. The next trick is these collars. These collars are what keep this sway bar from moving from left to right in the mounts. So what I'm gonna do here is I got a chunk of rubber. I'm gonna cut this down, but it wraps right around here. The clamp goes around there, and when you clamp it down, it's tight. I mean, it's not gonna let this bar go in and out. So that problem solved. Next problem is the mount. How are we gonna do the mount? So this is the factory mount that's on the Polaris. These are actually made out of a plastic material, and you can pull them out, and it's actually two pieces that kind of cut right in the middle. These are the factory bushings that came off of the Kia. So make sure when you go to the salvage yard that you get the bushings, because if you look, these are gonna fit right inside of there. All I'm gonna have to do is probably, you know, sand down, take off this lip here, and I'll be able to put this bushing inside of that bushing. You know, I may try to find a bushing that, you know, fits in there perfect, but this should be fine. This will go right in there. All you're trying to do is, you know, keep a little shock absorber in there and give it something to ride where it's not twisting. So it's also the right width. Take a look at that. So take these little ears off. I might even leave the ears on one side. It's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave the ear on, let's say this side, right? And then I'll have the collar. So the collar is gonna lock this bushing so the bushing can't come out of the other bushing. And if I do that, this thing should be perfect. So again, this is an idea. If you've got some skills with a torch, you're gonna need something like an acetylene. I don't think you can do it with propane. You're probably not gonna get it hot enough. This thing's gotta be cherry red hot, and then you want it to cool slowly. Don't quench it, anything like that, because you'll ruin the steel. But yeah, anyway, I think this is gonna work great. Once I get it put on, I'll take it out for test drive and kind of see what it does, but I've got some pretty good confidence this should work out fine. All right, so we got the sway bar installed. Let's see. It mounted really nice. I put, like I said, I put the bushings inside the other bushings. So they should hold there. And this is what the collar looks like. You know, it's got the rubber up against the rubber, so you should be able to go back and forth. Well, it was really nice. We had the shock off and we articulated the sway bar, and it was smooth as butter. So, you know, I think this is going to work out perfect. It clears the arms. So, Razor, you should watch this. Polaris should be putting this kind of sway bar on their unit. So, all right, here we go. So if you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Let me know if this idea is something you might try yourself. This is actually the second sway bar that we've done for a Razor. We did one on an 800, kind of the same way. I think we found an old Buick, used that for a sway bar, and it worked great. It's been in that thing for years. So we decided to try it on this one. So again, hit the like, subscribe. That's how I get paid for these videos. Just your comments, so I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next.